much. Let me begin by thanking Ala and his team for organizing this round of roundtable discussion, and also for inviting us. I wish you all the best with your future endeavors. I would like to go back a step and based on two important points. First, my generation obviously has seen what happened to Iraq because of the dictatorship, because of the wrong policies, because of the meaningless wars, because of the sanctions, because of the American invasion and what happened after that, and terrorist activities and so on. So we all feel a responsibility, more so because we were fortunate enough to see what happened in the outside world. So we strongly feel, as Iraqi citizens, before any other labels, we feel strongly responsible for making positive contributions towards rebuilding the state, but also the nation. The second point, which I think is important to remember, as Daniel has said, we don't need obviously to start from scratch. There are extensive literatures on what we call state building and nation building, and there are many good examples around the world that we could learn from. And based on the 5 years or so that I lived in South Africa, I could see many similarities between the challenges that the South African society has faced post-1994 and the challenges that we have faced in Iraq and continue to face because of the very difficult environment during which the democratic transition happened in Iraq. So the third point is, I think it's fair to say that because of the legacy that we inherited after 3-4 decades of dictatorship and wrong policies and so on, we have to remember that the environment that we faced in Iraq during the democratic transition and continue to face is very, very difficult. And this is important to remember. And if we take into account that democratic transitions and nation buildings usually take a lot of time, you need a lot of efforts, you need to be patient, and the outcomes have to be measured in decades, not in months or years. With that introduction, I'd like to share with you the important lessons that we could learn from the South African experience. I think in any post-conflict reconstruction and nation-building situation, there are 5 important elements that we need in order to succeed in building a stable, prosperous democracy. The first one, there has to be broad consensus on the nature of this new state, the new system, socio-political, economic system that we want to have. Unfortunately, in Iraq, we didn't have enough time to agree on this, to have broad consensus on the details of the new state and the new socio-political economic system that we would like to have. It's not late to do this, and I think it's important because we need this solid platform before we move to the next stages. Based on this broad consensus, broad vision for the new state and the new system that we want to have, I think we need a constitution. We need those important principles and that vision to be translated in a very clear way in the constitution. And I think when we compare those two important steps, what happened in South Africa versus what happened in Iraq, we could see that we are experiencing many difficulties because we didn't have broad consensus and agreed vision on the nature of the new state, and we didn't have enough time to go through the challenges that we would face. And unfortunately, the Iraqi constitution has many, as you know, many articles that need to be amended, and the amendment process is very difficult, very complex and very difficult. The third important element, which we suffer from, obviously, is to build the new institutions, the new state institutions, democratic institutions that clearly represent people and connect with people. When it comes to the Iraqi parliament and also the government and government institutions, there is a big gap there, and I think what happened in the past couple of years is a clear manifestation of this lack of connection between the new parliament, the new government, and other institutions with people. The fourth important element is to ensure that we have new laws and new policies that address the challenges that ordinary people have, ordinary citizens have. And when we talk to Iraqis, obviously, you very quickly realize that they don't feel that this new system in Iraq has delivered, and we could talk about why, obviously, later on. The fifth important element, when it comes to a very diverse society, such as the Iraqi one, most of them had negative experiences because of what happened before 2003, and they have different aspirations. There is an issue of mistrust. There are concerns about a possible repeat of what happened and so on. The process of national reconciliation and proper dialogue is important, and this is why obviously your project is important. It's important to highlight that we need to achieve progress along all these 5 important pillars if we are to succeed in building a stable and prosperous democracy. I could talk a lot more and share with you my observations when it comes to the experience in South Africa and Iraq, but I will stop here, give my colleagues the chance to contribute to enriching the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Bazour. Thank you.